How do I manage my anxiety in a bad position? And I think what they mean by this, I don't even know exactly who submitted this question. I didn't write down the name. But I think what is meant right here, we are in a bad spot. We find ourselves in the bind during sparring session, and my partner clearly is owning the situation, and this is not a good place for us. How do we manage our anxiety, our mental state in that position to make intelligent decisions? So what's important here is to identify the fact that if the anxiety is high, if the adrenaline rush is high, we are unable to make intelligent decisions. We are going to be very impulsive. We are going to make irrational, impulsive kind of decisions at this particular time. Right? And we're really truly trying to avoid all this, because what the ideal position for us would be is acknowledging the fact, acknowledging the fact that we are in a bad spot. And that acknowledgement right there puts us in a point of, stop freaking out. This sucks right now. There's nothing I can do about this right this moment, but I can solve this problem. And I think this is one of the points where a lot of students struggle, especially on the very beginning of their journey. When we find ourselves in bad spots, we often try to push, being very physical. The anxiety is high. The adrenaline dump is taking place, and we're trying to get out of there at any cost. And the problem here is that we are burning a lot of our energy. The moment the exhaustion kicks in and we deplete our fuel tank, if you will, we have nothing left. Now we give up. The other approach to this situation would be to slow things down. And this might be counterintuitive because we do want to get out of there. But intelligence puts us making intelligent decisions and putting ourselves in a slow, grinding, but yet progressive approach of escaping puts us in a higher success than being explosive and losing it right off the bat. So often when it comes to escapes in general, I love this concept of DECA, defend, escape, control, attack. And the moment we acknowledge which position we are in, it's easier for us to make intelligent decisions. So what I mean by this, if we find ourselves in a bind and we are in a tough spot, first things first, always protect yourself. Defend. You have to defend first. You have to make sure that you're not getting worse. The position is not progressively getting worse for me. So I have to look at the situation, acknowledge this is where I'm at, this is the surrounding, this is the circumstances I find ourselves in. Now I need to protect myself. I cannot get any worse than I'm at right now. I cannot allow my partner to submit me. Now, the moment we acknowledge this and we protect ourselves, so we are in a protective state, let's just say that, now we can begin escaping. And making intelligent decisions, again, is key. So finding my partner's weight might not be the best choice here. However, shifting my partner's weight where they are off balance and they begin to fall, now that is a very different approach. So mechanically, understanding what the situation is and what are the best steps for me to progressively make it better. Right? How can I improve the situation instead of explosively and impulsively try to get out of there? And don't take me wrong. There are times where explosiveness is good, but I want you to make that decision with some intelligence. I want you to make that decision with some thought. So if we acknowledge, listen, I see this opening, and I need to do this with explosive and quick motion. Boom. There was a decision that was made. What we're trying to avoid is these unpredictable motions and random directions with a full power of energy, depleting our tank of energy and completely exhausting ourselves, and we're still in the same spot. Now, we have not made any progression forward. So it is a hard thought to wrap our minds around. We want to make this slow, we want to make this progressive. But the most important part behind this entire video that I want to really emphasize here is we want to calm down. That's one of the most important things that I tell my students, at least, when it comes to escaping or manipulating out of the compromised positions. Not pushing, not pressing, not trying to get out of there at any cost, but making some smart choices for ourselves. 1% improvements, one step escapes towards the light, towards the exit, and that often brings by far more success than having this adrenaline dump, the anxiety all the way up to the roof. And, the success often is not always there. Peace.